Another day, another story. The missing 323 virus samples present several serious implications. 1. 3 particularly dangerous viruses are among the missing samples. 2. Hendra virus with a 57% mortality rate. 3. Lissa virus with 100% mortality rate if untreated. Welcome to Tabo Eminent channel. 4. Hantavirus that spreads through rodent excretions. 5. This incident is considered a major historical breach of biosecurity protocols, according to Australian authorities, highlighting unprecedented security concerns in virus storage facilities. 6. There are 3 main theories about what happened to the samples. 7. Accidental leak, mishandling. 8. Deliberate theft. 9. Intentional cover-up involving lab personnel. 10. The most concerning implication is the potential for these viruses to be used as bioweapons. 11. Some countries have raised concerns about the possibility of these samples being developed into biological weapons. 12. The samples require specific cold storage conditions to remain viable, and cannot survive in normal atmospheric conditions, which somewhat limits the immediate risk of environmental spreads. This situation has become so serious that Australia has launched a formal investigation led by a Chief Justice to determine what happened to these dangerous pathogen samples. Missing virus samples. 300 virus samples have reportedly gone missing from a laboratory, raising significant concerns globally. The Australian government is confused about the situation, and the news has been widely discussed in various media outlets, including ABC and BBC's. The missing samples include 323 viruses, and there are questions about whether they were leaked from a lab or stolen. Background on virus research. The discussion references past research related to the COVID-19 outbreak, particularly a lab in Wuhan, China, where gain-of-function research was conducted on coronaviruses. Gain-of-function research aims to understand how viruses might mutate and affect humans, which has led to concerns about biosecurities. Types of missing viruses. Among the missing samples, 3 significant viruses are highlighted: Hendra virus, Lassa virus, and Hantavirus SSS. The Hendra virus has a mortality rate of 57%, while the Lassa virus can lead to 100% mortality if untreated. Hantavirus spreads through rodent urine and can cause severe health issues. Investigation and concerns. The Australian government is conducting an investigation into the missing samples, which is considered a major breach of biosecurity protocol SSS. There are theories about how the samples went missing, including accidental leaks or potential thefts. Public reaction and future implications. The public is concerned about the implications of the missing viruses, with calls for transparency and accountability from health authorities. The video encourages viewers to share their opinions on whether the incident was an accident or a deliberate act. Public health risks. Potential outbreaks. If the samples are pathogenic and fall into the wrong hands or are accidentally released, they could lead to localized or even global outbreaks. Delayed disease response. Without these samples, researchers may struggle to track or understand diseases they pertain to, delaying responses to emerging health threats. Biosecurity threats. Bioterrorism. Missing virus samples could be used to engineer biological weapons if acquired by malicious actors. Laboratory protocol weaknesses. The incident highlights potential vulnerabilities in lab safety and storage protocols, raising questions about how securely dangerous pathogens are handled. Impact on research. Data gaps. Losing samples can result in critical gaps in ongoing research, particularly if they are unique or irreplaceable. Reproducibility challenges. Studies relying on these samples may face scrutiny if independent validation becomes impossible. Global trust and diplomacy. Loss of credibility. The institution or nation responsible may face diminished trust from the global scientific and medical communities. Geopolitical tensions. The incident might spark international concerns or accusations about negligence or ulterior motives. Ethical and legal concerns. Negligence. Accountability. Investigations might reveal whether the loss was due to oversight, procedural failures, or intentional acts, raising ethical and legal challenges. Privacy of participants. If the samples are tied to patient data, The breach could involve significant ethical and legal repercussions regarding privacy. Economic costs, increased resource allocation. Efforts to recover or replace the samples could divert funds from other critical research or public health initiatives. Potential liabilities. Governments or institutions might face lawsuits or financial penalties related to damages caused by the incident. This incident underscores the need for stringent biosafety measures, international collaboration on pathogen security, and transparent communication about such events to mitigate risks and maintain public trust. The incident. What happened? The disappearance of 323 virus samples was uncovered during a routine inventory check at a high-security laboratory. These samples, which reportedly include highly infectious viruses, were part of an ongoing research project aimed at studying emerging pathogens and developing treatments or vaccines. Broader implications. This loss sheds light on potential lapses in global biosecurity measures. Audit failures. How could such a significant number of samples go missing unnoticed? It suggests inadequate or irregular auditing of materials. Transport vulnerabilities. If the samples were being transferred between labs, this raises concerns about the safety and monitoring of such logistics. Human error. Mishandling by staff, whether intentional or accidental, is often the weakest link in high-security environments. Risk of untraceable spread. Should these samples involve viruses with zoonotic potential or high transmissibility, their absence poses a silent, looming threat. Scientists cannot assess whether there's a direct exposure risk. Governments may be blindsided by outbreaks that appear out of nowhere. Erosion of global cooperation. The missing samples could lead to mistrust among nations collaborating on global health. Hypothetical scenarios. Experts have presented worst-case and best-case outcomes, emphasizing the stakes. Best-case scenario. Recovery. If the samples are recovered intact, it could serve as a cautionary tale, sparking. Worst-case scenario. Misuse or escape. Accidental spread. A sample could escape containment due to mishandling, leading to a sudden and mysterious outbreak. Permanent loss. If these samples were unique, their scientific value is irretrievable, stalling vaccine or antiviral research. The human element. In addition to institutional accountability, the story underscores human fallibility. Interviews with lab staff reveal the immense pressure researchers face, especially when working with high-risk pathogens. Missteps, even small ones, can snowball into crises. What now? The world watches closely as the laboratory in question works with international agencies to trace the missing samples. Meanwhile, governments are on high alert, bolstering their own biosecurity measures and scrutinizing research partnerships. The missing virus samples are a stark reminder. When it comes to pathogens, even a small lapse can have catastrophic consequences. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.